Hi, grade 7s. Today what we're going to do is we're going to keep moving through our first topics in our algebra unit, and we're going to start looking at linear relations and their graphs. So we're going to do lots of graphing. You're going to get tired of using graph paper because we're going to do so many graphs here. So let's get right into it. Linear. What's linear mean? Well, linear has an important word in it, and the word is line. So we're graphing relations, so how x and y relate to each other, or whatever variables we're talking. So we're talking about things that are connected, related to each other, and all of our graphs are going to make lines. And so we call them linear relations, relations that make lines. Okay, so it's really important that you know that that's what we're doing. So they're going to give you an equation like this, where it says y equals 3x plus 2, and they'll say graph it, and they won't tell us anything else, but they'll expect you to be able to take this equation and build a graph. So here's kind of how I would work through this. The first thing I would do is I would build a table of values. Okay, this is going to feel a little backwards, but this is y equals something. Well, y we're going to put second. Okay, so we always kind of put the y value second, or whatever value is over by itself. That's the value we usually put second in our table of values. The x value we'll put first. Okay, so it goes x, y. And in this case, what we're going to do is we get to choose what values of x we want to do. So we want to be really smart here. We want to choose values of x that are nice and easy to work with. So in general, this isn't always the case, because I can think of a student in grade 8 who wanted to use values not that we would normally use, but they were very smart ones to use. You would want to use numbers that are very easy to handle. So for example, sometimes I'll pick x equals 0. Because I like working with 0. It's a nice small number that I can handle pretty easy. I might want to use the number 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, and if you wanted to keep going, you could do a few more. I would say let's do at least 4 different numbers. And if you did 0, 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be perfect in my world. So the question ends up being, hey, when x is 0, what's the y value? Well, how do you figure that out? Well, you take your equation and you figure it out. So y equals 3x plus 2. So let's try it for when x equals 0. So y equals 3, and we're going to just replace the x with 0, so we're going to use brackets to show the multiplication, plus 2. So 3 times 0 is 0, plus 2 gives me, 0 plus 2 gives me 2. So when x is 0, the y value is 2. That's what it works out to be. Let's try the next one. What's y equal to when x is 1? Let's try it out. Well, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 gives me 5. Next one here, let's try the 2. Y equals 3 times 2, replacing that x, plus 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 add 2 gives me 8. And guess what? I'm thinking you're seeing this pattern. It's going up by 3s. So I can guess that next one is 11. So what do we do next? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find a line tool here. Okay. Let's see if this works. It's a pretty big arrow. Let's go with it. It's not too bad. I'm going to also make that same arrow go this way. Like this. Couple important things to know here. First one here is our x value is always on the x-axis, which is horizontal. So the first one always goes on the left or right axis. So in this case, the y value here always goes on this axis. Now, a couple important things to note. The x value is pretty simple. It's just going up by ones. So I'm going to start with just this first line here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see each of these lines. And I'm putting these numbers right in the middle of those lines coming down. Don't put them in between. Don't put them in the gap. I don't want them in between the two lines. I want everyone to know that if we hit this line, that's 1. If we hit this line, that's 2. If we hit this line, that's 3. I want it to be very clear. Now the y values. This is where life gets a little bit more interesting. My biggest y value is 11. I can't go up by ones here because count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I only have 10 spots. 11, if I went up by ones, would be up there. I don't want that. I do not want that. So what I need to do is I can't go up by ones. I want to go up. I want to find a scale that works better for the numbers. So in this case, well, going up by ones, I didn't have quite enough room, but it was close. So probably going up by 2s would work just fine. There's 8, there's 10, there's 12, there's 14, I'm far enough. Now where would I graph 11? Well, there is an 11 on this y-axis. 11 would be right in between, and that's just fine. Works perfect. So this is how it works. The first number here, the x value, tells you how much right to go. So 0 means I don't move at all to the right. I'm going to just stay right here. Now the y tells me how much up and down to go. So in this case, I need to go up 2. So you can see the 2 is found right here. So here's my first point here. Second thing. Here we go. Let's look at the next one. The next value is 1, 5. So that means go 1 to the right. So here I am. The 5 tells me go up 5. So here's 2, here's 4, 5 will be right in between. I'm going to put a dot. Let's go to 2. So x is 2, y is 8. So I go x means 2 to the right, 1, 2. 8 means 8 up. So just watch that y-axis. So here's 2, here's 4, here's 6. There's 8. Next one. 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3. And we have 11 up. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Cool thing is, you can see this is making a beautiful straight line. So this is how we graph linear relations. So this is our first one. I'm just going to write y equals 3x plus 2. Well, hopefully that's enough to get you going. Have a great one, Math 7s.